Hello there. Hey, how you doing? What the hell is this? Well, we are doing a Bad Ab challenge, and the way we're structuring this is that we're spreading out this content over 3 channels. So we have alongside us Max. Hey, Max.
Hello. I'm from Barefoot Miniatures.
Barefoot Miniatures, and we have Alex.
Yeah, hey, from Crescent Edge Creative, and both Max and myself will have our socials and YouTube channels in the comments below.
Yeah, down below, and there'll be links above. So what on earth is this video? Well, in this video, we'll be talking about the artistic side of the challenge, how you can participate in the hobby side of the challenge. Well, just talking a little bit, chewing the cud a little bit over what exactly we want to achieve painting-wise with this Bad Ab thing that we're doing. Now, if you're interested in our book review, our book argument it descended into, you can check out
the Articles of Succession.
Articles of Succession, yes. So you can check out Alex for part 2. Then every month we will be bringing you not only a hobby roundup, but also a rolling, rambling look through a 13-year-old book that somehow still manages to mesmerize.
Then in all hope, ye who enter here, I guess. We're here because we've got a very exciting new collaborative project that we can't wait to get off the ground. And we've just been itching since Adepticon Adult Libations to get this project moving. As I'm sure all of you are familiar with, both Miles, Max, and myself, we're huge fans of Heresy and Future Fake history within the scope of Warhammer 30,000 and 40,000. So over the next 10 months, we're going to be hammering it out with a few other choice top grade hobbyists. And we're going to get into the first little video of that to get that excited, get us excited, and make us continue to actually finish this through maybe a little bit better than I did in the previous Tale of Gamers, where I made it like halfway, and then I was just like, I don't know, I put this one little bit of paint on this mini, here's a picture.
Well, I think that's one of the key things to say is, as a project, we're all like passionate about this, and I think many projects start that way, right? And what we wanted to do was keep it quite small and contained so that it could definitely get finished, and that in itself spurs you on to more things, right? It's like having finishing a goal. It's like, wow, yeah, finished, let's do the next one, rather than fuck, like I didn't finish, I'll just stop doing things for a year and a half.
Yeah. So yeah. The whole goal this time is to get dopamine instead of serotonin. So
we're going for the lowbrow podcast. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, the whole genesis of this project came about through a hungover conversation at Adepticon, because we were really buzzing from the 40k preview, and you know it's like when you get a bunch of heresy heads together, we're either arguing about the amount of rivets Mark IV has, or we're talking about Bad Ab. So we wanted to bring that synthesis of both our excitement for 40k and seeing all the previews, and our love for the heresy, and smash those together in the super collider of awesome hobby. And we've enlisted a great range of hobbyists, really varied skills. We're all diving. I mean, there's one in particular, he is racing ahead with his executioners on social media.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to learn more about our warlords, you can find it. Where can we find it, Alex?
Yeah, so you'll be able to find it on this channel. But also at littlelegendstudio.com is where we're going to house the majority of the articles. You can also follow it along on Instagram, either by following Miles at Little Legend Studio, Max at Barefoot Miniatures, or myself at Crescent Edge Creative. And we'll be posting pictures and links using the hashtag back to Bad Ab After Dark.
Yeah, not just there, Alex. We're going to force you to do videos on YouTube as well.
That's right.
There's no option. Right.
Okay. So you'll also be able to find it on Barefoot Mini's YouTube channel, and eventually my own Crescent Edge Creative. But I'm quite juvenile in this journey, so you two guys are going to Sherpa me along.
I'm not letting you get away with that. Everyone that is watching this currently, please berate him in the comments, so that he gets this kicked off on his YouTube channel as fast as possible. Because That is an upside for everyone, I think. More content, Alex, more content. Just needs to go, go, go. As you can see, it's all business all the time on the Barefoot Miniature side of this.
Yeah, you've been pumping out so many videos. I mean, it feels like every time I refresh my YouTube feed, there's a new video that's gone up. I mean, what have you produced this week? There's the end of your Necromunda campaign. There's at least 2 Horus Heresy battle reports on there.
So I tend to do a Horus Heresy battle report every other week. And then something, I'm going to say weird, but not weird. Not like an After Dark video, but a more specialist game or something that I don't more regularly play. So that's every week a battle report, and then a talking video to get people through the week, because of my super silky sounding voice. I need you on there more, Miles. We need some of your lilting tones.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%. We need to block in the time I can travel up to Manchester because I want to be on the channel. I want to break my Heresy army. I want to break my new Sons of Horus. Yeah, I want to thrash around.
I didn't mean you. I just meant your nice voice that lilts people away into the valleys.
You know what? People keep saying this, that they watch my videos to fall asleep. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's meant as a compliment, but I'm not quite sure. Should I take that as a compliment? I mean, it riles me up. So every now and again in the video, I put a really sharp, piercing sound, like glass shattering against glass, just to give that jolt to people. Listen.
Yeah, well, I don't know about sleep, but I know about just before sleep, and I do tend to watch a lot of your videos just there.
Oh, great. Okay. Again, I'm not quite sure how to take that, but I'm going to take it as a compliment.
I just like to absorb painting knowledge at that point.
I'm going to take it as a compliment, bro. Yeah, so Bad Up After Dark. Why the hashtag Bad Up After Dark? We don't really know why. It's a cool sounding name, and it just kind of makes sense to us. So when I think of the Badar conflict, I mean, there's been years before since I read this material, but one of the conflicts that really just kept in my mind was when the chapter masters, just at the outset of the war, they come together for a truce meeting, and they meet in a dead star fort. And there's something about that image, about this vastness of space, about this vast denseness of intergalactic space that they're warring over, that they are essentially conducting a private affair, private Astartes war across an entire sector. And it's the poor people on the ground that are paying the price for this. I guess it really strikes the very heart of what this conflict is and who are the principal characters and exactly what is the main argument that's put forward by these characters. But I feel like I'm flying into the second episode here. So why don't we talk about, if you'd like to learn more about the Warlords, it'll be up on theledgerstudio.com. We aren't going to list what everybody's doing in this video. Rather, we three are here. We're going to talk about what we are doing.
Well, why don't we show them on a list to the side now? And then we'll have scrolled across them.
Edit list. So those are all the participants, and they're chosen chapters. It's going to be weird seeing that. I'm going to keep lapsing into these are the legions that we're doing. So why don't we talk about the legions that we are doing? And I'm going to bully myself in here. I'm going to show off a test piece that I've been doing up.
This guy in his freaking transition.
Yeah, you like the transition?
Dude, that was smooth.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue on with this project. The Lamenters, they've got this thing about bad luck running through them, and it's since I started painting this, a couple of calamities have happened to me. On the very day I started this test piece, I broke one of my teeth. Not doing anything strenuous, like I wasn't skydiving or like getting a boxing match or fighting homeless people around Swansea. I was biting into a pizza and just my tooth came away. Okay, coincidences happen, that's fine. When I picked up this again, this kept snapping off. The head fell off. This is a replacement head. I've gone through 2 heads on this piece. And when I finished the project, the day I finished it, the replacement tooth that was put in, just as a temporary measure, came away again. I mean, is this a coincidence? Should I feel like I could do myself and my family some very real damage if I continue on with this Lamenter project. But I'm very happy with how the yellow turned out.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So I'm not sure.
I like the color that you chose for the shadows.
Yeah. I mean, it's that classic thing of painting yellow, right? That, people have gone through that thing of, okay, you appreciate it pink, which I don't like doing. So this is like a shading with a dark magenta. So I'm not only relying on the color to bring down the value of it, I'm also relying on the value of the color itself. So value just means the lightness of a color. So by using magenta, when I put a yellow over the top of it, it's naturally going to appear darker. And this particular color of yellow as well, it's quite a cold yellow as opposed to like an Imperial Fist yellow. And I really thought this scheme would go wrong because my default is to use slightly warmer yellows and then glaze it down. But with this, I went in with a very cold gold yellow initially. And I'm more than happy how it turned out with that. Another thing.
Why did you choose a cold yellow? Since we're actually on that topic, what was the reason for the cold yellow?
The artwork in the book, the color plates, those gorgeous color plates. When you look at those, they aren't like a very bright, saturated Imperial Fist yellow. It's not like a sunset yellow. It's almost like a cold gold. To it. It's the same with the Firehawks as well. You'll tend to find out with a lot of Imperial armor color plates that a lot of the work's desaturated because it's a very realistic look at those things. But whenever I develop a project, I always look at those color plates first to give me a good signal, and I can run it through a program. Hold on, I'll show you.
So is that, as in like you start with the color plates, is that how you chose Lamenters then? To be your like test model, or what was actually drew you to Lamenters over any of the other chapters that you could have chosen?
I'm a Blood Angel fan at heart. I'm a real Blood Angel fan. But okay, so this system I got here. Let's zoom out. So what I can do with the test piece, say if I want to know exactly what this color is, I can put this system is called Procreate, and it comes with a really handy feature where if I want to know exactly what this like orange is up here, I could put it up there and it'll tell me. So if I want to know what this yellow is, it'll tell me exactly where it sits on the color wheel. So I'm able to determine that this is a warmer yellow because it sits more towards the orange side of the spectrum. But when you run the Lamenters through that grid, it comes out more towards the cooler, greener side of things. So I can build up a color scheme by doing that. I'm a Blood Angel fanboy at heart, and I have a load of extra like Blood Angel bits as well. So it just seemed like a natural pairing for me to go for the Lamenters with this project, especially. And it's one of those things that it's very easy to demonstrate your skill on a project like Blood Angels or Lamenters, because they are nice, bright color schemes with lots of beautiful embellishment. You can be a better painter, a much more technical painter, working on Death Guard, as opposed to working on Blood Angels. But if it came down to like winning Best Army Painted, it's very rare that the Death Guard player will win that, because of the oil and streaking and weathering effects will make the miniature overall look dirty and worn and dragged down. Whereas the Blood Angels or the Emperor's Children, like, they're very effervescent, they're very eye-catching in their appearance. So I guess there's a little bit of selfishness there from me as well. But since I've been considering this project over exactly what I want to achieve with it, and the bad luck I've been experiencing as well, I've been putting together a couple of test pieces. So this is another test piece I've been working on, rather uninspiring view here, but this will be an Astral Claw. And you can see the blue I have going on here. So this was just a pre-shade of white on black with Guilliman blue or Ultramarines blue whacked over the top. And then I've got a Minotaur as well I'm also working on. So I think the initial project for me will just be producing test pieces.
So you're very much focused on like the paint scheme to be your actual kicking off point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think because we're dealing with such small numbers, I don't have that pressure initially to produce and to really grind down on a singular project, because there are so many great chapters in this. There are so many different factions. I'm sure you guys have been through this. You create a list of like 6 or 7. And I think the initial part of my exploration of this project will just be producing simple test schemes for them.
So I actually know me and Alex had, like, my list was 2. Alex, and that got decided to 1 like 3 years ago. Alex's was very different.
Right. Okay. Max. Okay. I mean, this is a really good jumping off point, because I'm done talking about me. I want to talk about someone else. So,
Alex, you want to go over why you? Because I know your reason. So let's go on to yours, because yours is actually a brilliant reason for like choosing the project that you did.
Yeah. So part of it is, I mean, if you take a look at my logo, I can't seem to escape fucking avians. So that's part of it. I've got Raven Guard, I've got Ashen Claws, and so the Raptors just kind of spoke to me out of just general pragmatism. But on top of that, as soon as I saw like the new Primaris Infiltrator kits, like, slinged bolt guns with multiple scopes, high tactical design. Like, I know exactly where to take those conversions and just run with them. Combined with a wealth of Merc 6 armor that I have laying around.
He's lying, Miles. He's lying. This isn't the reason. Tell about the artwork, Alex. Tell about the artwork.
Yeah. The artwork is just unreal. And so, Max and I were kind of talking last weekend around like, what's inspiring us? How are we getting a design? And I don't have the ability to do sweet transitions, so maybe we'll have to just edit some of the artwork in at this one. But yeah, it will appear here now. Raptors chapter art. And there's one in particular piece that I shared with Max, and it's got like ghillie strips on it. So again, it's just like more of a modern take on a Space Marine chapter, something that's traditionally been in a mixture of grimdark and high fantasy. And I don't paint greens a lot, so that pulls me towards it too. Because I had considered Minotaurs and I had considered Red Scorpions, and after reading chapter 1, now I kind of want to change to the other team. But right on. Yeah. So on the Raptor side, I mean, it was really inspiration into what I could do modeling wise. Like, I'm huge on conversions and building bespoke characters in particular. And so Max and I were flipping through art and inspiration last weekend. And in addition to having like, a little more of a realistic or modern take on the Raptors, including like ghillie stripping and high tactical conversions, I've also always wanted to make a Space Marine with a tactical bow. And I felt like this was the opportunity to do it. So it's based on Eddie _Gon's art. So Eddie Gonzalez's art. And I don't know what chapter it is. I think it's one that he's made up, but it's got a lot of Native American influence on it. And he's kind of about to get in a shootout in a dingy bar with like a Mechanicus guy and what looks like an Imperial Guardsman. And they're getting into a real standoff, but that picture's always kind of shot with me. So I picked up this kit right here.
So it's really weird you say that. Sorry to just jump in here, but I'm going to do another sweet transition again. When you mention camouflage, and this is one of the things that when you're flicking through, especially some of the Rogue Trader art, a lot of these guys do use camouflage, which isn't something you generally see in Space Marines at all. So I think we need, as like a bunch of hobbyists doing this, to produce at least one of these. I mean, the Salamanders one looks just awesome.
Yeah. So they saw these
Dan Morrison
in camouflage.
Dan Morrison is
that could be cool.
Phenomenal artist.
Even. Like if nothing else, rhinos camouflage patterns was big in the Bad Ad War, and like obviously like Rogue Trader era, like artwork for stuff. Mantis Warriors, they have the Tranquility Snipers that are in like sort of Tiger Claw pattern. Not the Tiger Claw chapter, but like Tiger Stripe camo.
Yeah.
Like, so it's something that we could all explore, definitely.
Yeah, I got a really good idea just now for like a rhino with like camouflage netting. Like, so they didn't actually camouflage the rhino. And I mean, maybe I'm a little more blessed as a Raptors choice here because they're already like sort of an olive color, which is like a general camouflage color. But like camouflage netting, and then just add like little bits of foliage, either from like gamer's grass or something like on it, and just make like ghillie netting for like a rhino or a predator.
So you can get a really good like netting that's like this product, and it's sort of it tears really nicely. Like I've wrapped it around a few tanks, guns and stuff like that, or models, and it's like a.
And what is that? Where'd you get that?
It's plastic. I can't remember the company. I'll link it below for anyone that's interested. And it's a plastic, so you can do enamels, you can do what's got acrylic like airbrush sprays in it, things like that. And so it will respond like your models do, and responds really well. Actually.
Yeah, that's really good. I might do that instead. I was going to do the old cheesecloth and like PVA, like paper mache mixture, and so go that route.
Yeah, I've done that quite a bit, and there's always that ball ache of sorting out the actual. Do you wrap it before you spray the model, and then you obviously spraying through that wrapping to get the armor color underneath? Or do you do it after and then you've got to brush paint it all and it's a real faff? Or do you like stain the dip that you're going to put it in? But yeah, this product is absolutely game changer in putting camo netting on things, I find. So I'll take that for sure. Because so a bit more details on the project in general. We're aiming more for an actual kill team, but with no real restrictions, or we wanted this to be a creative project first over a gaming project first. So we don't even know what rule set we're going to play this with when we see each other next Adepticon. We have no clue, and we're just going to build what we want, how we want it, in a way that makes us enjoy what we're doing, and open up those creative juices.
I mean, our original discussion was Kill Team, because we were talking, wow, Kill Team, I've heard good things about it, let's try and play it. What can we do for it? And, it's a small amount of miniatures. It appealed to us, each coming off the back of producing quite large heresy armies. Something smaller, something more boutique, something more focused just appealed to us. But when we presented this to the group, some people wanted to do like 1,500 points based in the Age of Darkness book, a rule set. Well, that's going to be awesome. Yes, do that. Some people, like myself right now, I'm not really sure which faction I want to develop out into a kill team. So I think I'll just paint like 5 or 6 or 7.
Do a kill team of each, Miles. Just do a kill team of each.
I might end up doing a kill team of each. I don't know. I mean, a kill team was like 5-6 miniatures. So, I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibilities of doing a few of them or modeling some of the characters. Well, just as a little spoiler, one of our members is Wilf from Divergent Realms, and he's been, quite frankly, showing off with some of his digital sculpts, saying, I could produce these for Astral Claws, I could do this for Lamenters. So I dare say I'll end up painting a couple of his characters that he'll sculpt. And I'm just waiting until an idea coalesces together. For me...
pull the trigger on the final one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Max... what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to get out of this project? What are you doing for this? Is there another silver armored marine? Is there another silver marine?
There's not. So I'm going to gloss over the bit that you guys have heard a billion times before and don't want to hear about my herb garden. But so it was when 8th edition 40k came out, my group around here decided, right, we're going to do Bad Ab, and basically essentially divided up legions amongst that. I did actually want to do Raptors initially, like for that, but then like somebody else had already Bagsied Raptors. I tend to prefer like traitor or freedom fighters, depending on your bent.
Yeah.
Like it's so I ended up digging into and really liking the look of Mantis Warriors. It had this sort of like stealthy tactical feel of Raptors, whilst also having this absolutely crazy edge to the stories, because they've got this sort of Japanese imperial tinge to them that, like, sort of ambush fighters in the jungle.
Right, and I'm sure when they were coming up with developing some of these back chapters, the Vietnam War might have been very clear in people's mind. The Korean conflict might have been very, very clear, and then setting that in a more futuristic way. Perhaps that's what they were thinking.
Yeah, so I didn't want to just pin myself down to what Japanese is what I was trying to say. Like, he's just
and I mean, now that you say that, Miles, that's likely the inspiration, at least for a good chunk of the Crusade, which is or of the conflict, because the Raptors end up in the jungle against the Mantis Warriors and the Astral Claws, and while they kind of came out on top, it cost them heavy. Like, you can argue they didn't win it, but I mean, you've got guys with olive drab camouflage and high tech gear and tactical outfit. And they're fighting against jungle guerrilla warfare fighters with, like, a tyrant behind it. If that doesn't sound like, Vietnam with Russian backing, I don't know what does.
No, so there's a few things to play off in there that I quite like that. So I immediately dug down into history podcasts and just looking through anything that was even slightly connected.
Hardcore history.
I watched a load of samurai films as soon as I was like, right, Mantis Warriors, all
Samurai,
the stereotypical samurai movies that I would watch. And it just to get visual inspiration, and then that then obviously moves naturally onto Instagram and ArtStation's really good, Pinterest. And I ended up on, and we're about to launch into the bit where you two are going to sigh because you've heard it a million times. There's this image that will be appearing on everyone's screens now because I forced whoever's editing it to edit it in. This image of a samurai stood next to a cherry blossom tree. So I ended up buying a bonsai tree to form the start of this scene, to make a diorama. So my entire idea is going to focus around it won't be bigger than a kill team until that is done. On the scale of projects question that you just on. But it will focus around this one samurai tree in front of an actual bonsai tree. So I think three very different directions in a project.
You've gone from siege works and redoubts and mechanical warfare to bonsai trees.
Yeah, well, it ties into also what you were saying, Miles. It's a bit more arty. The scheme is like a brighter green.
Yes.
I said it before, I had two options, and the other one was Astral Claws because they're awesome. They're awesome in the fluff, and it's another silver scheme. No, not doing that.
Yeah.
So Mantis Warriors it was.
Yeah, all good choices. So we are looking to launch on the 1st. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, but on the 1st of what would it be? May, June. Good God.
June.
1st of June. Yeah, this year's flying already. We'll be hosting everybody's article 1.0. If you would like to join in alongside us, everybody is free to do so. Absolutely everybody is free to do so. The best way you can do it, whenever you post online, put up the hashtags. Alex?
Yeah, it's Badab After Dark and Back to Badab.
There we go. And we will see it. And then at the end of these videos, we'll be scrolling through everybody's images. We'll be rating you 1 to 10 and absolutely ripping into everybody. No, we'll be looking at everyone's work and just appreciating what everyone's done. Because no matter what level of painter you are, everybody can enjoy the Badab Wars. Everybody can join in. There will be some flavour of Space Marine chapter in there that appeals to you and that you can do something creatively with. in order to help that as well, if you do have a 3D printer, up on Wilf's website. Actually, I don't think he has a website, but this link will definitely be in the first article on littlelegendstudio.com. This is completely free to download. This is Bertie, is it?
No, that's that's Bertrand.
This is Bertrand. Yes, this is Bertrand. Bertrand from Badab. Completely free to download, and this is what I've been printing out to use as test pieces for all my Badab Marines. So if you do want to join in and make Wilf very, very happy and paint some of these up, he would be delighted to see it. We'd be delighted to see it. If you have any remnants from your old Badab projects, feel free to post them up. If it regalvanizes you to delve into an old collection and renew it, by all means do so. This is the jumping off point of your creativity. It's not meant to be a hidebound thing. It's not meant to impose any rules or limitations on you. It's a jumping off point to begin a conversation. Part 1, done. Part 0, I guess it would be, is the preamble, the introduction to this entire thing. And again, guys, if you want to know a little bit more about the lore behind Badab, perhaps you weren't as privileged to own these books the first time round, or you don't know much about it, you can check out the lore segments we are doing on Crescent Edge. Links will be in the description below, as well as links dotted all over the videos. And we'll see you for part 2